Marketing. Probably my favorite part in having a clothing brand is doing the marketing for everything. So here I've compiled all my knowledge on how to do good marketing for your clothing brand so you can learn and do it yourself. Good luck, and I'll see you guys in the Discord server. Alright, first and foremost, let's start with the marketing essentials. These are steps every single brand should do, no matter how big or how small they are. Every brand should go to these 3 steps. Step 1 in marketing essentials are photo shoots and videos. Content creation. Content is one of the most important things, especially in this day of age where social media is just going crazy. Every brand that blows up recently is just going through social media. If you don't have a presence on social media, your brand doesn't really exist anymore these days. So guys, it's so important to have great content. So content is photography and videos, easily said, easily put. Photo shoots and good content are really the basis of your brand. If you already have your logo and your name, then photo shoots are probably the most important next step. Why? Because it's gonna be displayed everywhere. If people go to your Instagram page, they're gonna look at all the pictures. If they go to your website, it's probably gonna be like one big picture in the beginning. If people go to your TikTok, it's probably gonna be videos and pictures. So guys, pictures are one of the most important things in all of this process. Especially once you sell mostly online, like I do and like most brands do, then people only have pictures to look at. People don't really fit the clothes, they cannot feel the clothes, they just look at pictures. So guys, make sure your pictures, your content, your videos are on point. But how do you make good photos and good videos? Do you need like flashy cameras that cost a few €1000s? In my honest opinion, that's all totally not necessary. I literally shoot everything on iPhone. These videos right now are shot on iPhone. My pictures for my clothing brand are mostly shot on iPhone. And I know a lot of brands that also just shoot on iPhone. iPhones have really good cameras, so I'm sorry if you're listening or watching on an Android telephone, but iPhones are so good. I really recommend, if you have an iPhone, to just take some pictures with that phone. You just need a very good location. The location is also really important. And of course, the module is also really important. But to be honest, the camera and the person behind the camera are not too important whatsoever. Of course, you need to have like an eye for photography, and you can train it as well. You need to have some training. But like having a really special cool camera that costs like hundreds of euros is totally not necessary. I know this because I have a camera myself and I never use it. I only use my iPhone. It's just much more convenient. This is so big and bulky, you cannot put it in your pocket. You cannot really carry this with you. While an iPhone just slides in your pocket and the quality of the camera is as good or maybe even better than this one. So guys, you really don't need a camera, alright? You just need a good iPhone, one of the newer ones I recommend, above like the iPhone 11 or 12. They're all like really good ones. Next up is the location. The location is also really important because it sets the entire vibe of the brand. Is it in the forest? Is it in a city? Is it in a studio? Is it in like a graffiti wall? Where is the picture taken? This all is really important, and this all stacks on top of the brand identity from module 1. That's why it was so important to do this step correctly. Go back to module 1, look at your brand guidelines, look at the mood board. Where is the mood board taken? Are the shots all in the forest? Are the shots all in the city? Where do the people from your brand take the pictures? Also look at your top 5 brands that you listed before and look at where they take some pictures. Go take inspiration from all these sources and go decide your first place to take pictures. Alright, now you have your location and your camera figured out, it's time to find some models. Do you really need to pay like high quality modeling agencies and stuff to work with their like really certified models that are really look good for pictures that have a lot of experience? No, totally not. It's really not necessary. Just look at your friend group, look at the people you know from like school and stuff, and look who looks cool for your clothing brand. Just really think to yourself, who do I think looks really cool? And then just go ask that person if they want to model. If you're a starting brand, everybody just wants to do it for free. That's no problem. Once your clothing brand grows, everybody wants to get paid. That's something I've really experienced. So guys, make really use of being a small brand and just ask people for a favor. Ask them to be a model in your pictures and give them like a free t-shirt or something in return. But just ask good friends and people who look really cool. Those are gonna be your best models, especially in the beginning. Alright, now you're ready to do your first photo shoot, to make your first content, and I also have some other tips for you guys. So the number 1 tip is steal like an artist. I already mentioned it in module 1, but stealing like an artist in this step is really important and can really help you like save time and just make cool stuff. Go to your 5 favorite brands, go to Pinterest, just go look everywhere, go on TikTok, search up your favorite brands and look at what they are doing. If they're making all the same types of pictures in like the streets and stuff, maybe it's a good idea to make the same type of pictures. Or if there's like one certain picture you really like, just go ahead and like do a similar thing. Do a similar pose, use similar models, just steal like an artist. Take inspiration everywhere and make your own cool stuff. That's the same with pictures and videos. If there's a video that looks cool, just go and do it. You have yourself, you have the models, you have your iPhone. You shouldn't overcomplicate it all. You shouldn't hire a cameraman or something like that. Just go out there and try. And you learn. Probably your first pictures will look really shitty. That's just normal. My pictures look like this in the beginning, like really random bad pictures. But I improved and now my pictures look like this. And all is shot on iPhone. So guys, it's all possible. Go ahead and start creating your content. Part 2 in Marketing Essentials are actually 2 things: scarcity and hype. They truly go hand in hand. That's why I mention them as one step. Having hype around your clothing brand is truly so important. If you look at the big brands, Supreme, Cortez, Yeezy, all these types of brands, they all were built up of hype. They do like limited edition stuff, that's scarcity, and they all follow the same kind of formulas. There's little stock, so people have to be quick and go crazy for it, and there's hype around it. People make it larger than life. Having a pair of Yeezys in like 5 years ago in 2016 was a crazy achievement. They were so limited, so hyped, and although the Yeezy 350s don't really look good, it was just hyped. Everybody wanted them. The hype was so real, and having a hyped up clothing brand is one of the biggest, coolest things you can have. Of course, it's not that easy, but once you get it, it's crazy. It's insane. It's like so powerful. For example, my €1 shoes. They were so crazy hyped and people just went crazy for them. They went nuts. My website even crashed because there were too many people on the website at the same time. So guys, making hype is truly one of the biggest things you can do. And how do you create hype? By doing great marketing. Hype is like one of the biggest, coolest things that can really propel your brand to the next level. If people really find it cool to wear your stuff, then you've really made it. Then you don't have to do anything as a brand. Then you just have to maintain it. But getting there is just really following precise steps. And those precise steps are scarcity. Scarcity is one of the most important things in creating hype. Because if there's only a limited amount available, people are gonna go crazy to get it. And if it's just sold out, then people will go even crazier on the next one. Really keep your first stock really limited. Just order like 10 t-shirts or 20 t-shirts and make sure they get sold out fast. Because selling out is truly a marketing tactic. For example, the Buchan fleeces. They were our most hyped product ever. And why? Because of multiple steps. First and foremost, they were dropped right after the €1 shoes. And because the €1 shoes were already very hyped, people were going crazy for the brand. All these eyeballs were targeted at the Buchan brand. Everybody wanted something, but the €1 shoes were sold out in like 3 seconds or something. People wanted something else, so we dropped this one the day after the €1 shoes. And it went nuts. We had 400 pieces in stock and they sold out in 15 minutes, which I never expected this would happen. It was so hyped, it was so crazy. So the next day we dropped a pre-order of these. And because the first day they sold out immediately, there was scarcity and there was hype. People expected it to sell out again immediately, so people went crazy for it. People ordered them directly, and there were another few thousand orders of these fleeces, which was truly crazy. So guys, that really explains the power of hype and scarcity. Make sure you plan it wisely, make sure some pieces go out of stock, so you have the scarcity, and make sure your brand feels larger than life. Make sure it feels as if everybody wants the brand. Be sure to always communicate if there's low stock, if there are like 10 t-shirts. Be sure to say we only have 10 t-shirts, because this creates this true scarcity, which is so powerful in the clothing brand industry. So guys, this said, let's get on to step 3, giveaways. So everybody probably knows giveaways. Almost every brand does them. And why does every brand give away free clothes? It seems pretty counterintuitive, because you just keep on giving free stuff. I've also given away like 1,000 euros in gift cards already, and some brands even give like 10,000 euros away, which seems like really crazy. All these big numbers just for free for everyone. Is it real? Are giveaway scams? Why does everybody do it? Why? Because it works. Think about it. If you give away a free hoodie, but you gain a few hundred followers in return, this hoodie is truly worth it, because if only like 2 people buy a hoodie from you, then you probably already made a profit. So doing giveaways is truly so impressive and so important, and it's one of the main ways I skyrocketed my following, and one of the main ways how to gain a lot of followers quickly, how to like growth hack following, is by giving away stuff and trade for followers. So what you're gonna do is just copy this script down beneath this video. That's like the best giveaway script that I've found ever. It's pretty much explaining we're giving away this stuff and this is how to enter. And how to enter is really important, and this is the way how to get followers. So you really have to include, you have to follow this account, your clothing brand account. You have to tag like 3 friends or something, because of course this way a lot of people just spread the message and it just spreads like a fire. And you have to share it on your story. If like 100 people share your post on their story and they have like on average like 100 followers, you reach 10,000 people, and all for just the cost of like 1 hoodie, which is crazy. If you did pay that, it was never possible to do it with such a small amount of money to reach so many people. And another big plus is that it's organic. If people decide to share your hoodie on their story, it means they really want your hoodie. And if people want your hoodie, they probably have friends that also would like something similar. This is like one of the most effective and one of the coolest ways to do marketing, is just by doing cool giveaways, by doing big giveaways. For example, my €1 shoes, I'm gonna get into it in one of the expert marketing secrets. That's like actually one big giveaway. I gave away shoes for €1, so it was not free like most giveaways, but it's something really similar. And really a lot of people just get into it. If they see like something free, they go crazy, they do everything for a free item. Doing giveaways is like one of the best marketing tactics out there, especially in the beginning when you don't have high budgets. And it's also a really good way to make hype for your clothing brand. And to expand on this, I do a giveaway pretty much every drop. And why do I do this? Because it just creates hype. It makes sure your brand stays relevant, stays hyped. People just keep seeing it on other people's stories and stuff. And it's also just a fun way to do marketing. It's better than just paying ads and just shoving stuff in people's face. Doing giveaways, people really like it. People get stuff for free. Of course people like it. It's just the most logical and coolest way of doing marketing. So guys, for your first drop, I truly recommend you use these 3 marketing essentials very thoughtfully and very wisely. It's time to step up your game and go to the advanced marketing strategies. In this video, I'll cover my top 3 ways how you can make sure your clothing brand grows quickly. And some of these are really important and I didn't do them from the start. So you guys can learn from my mistakes and we can go and make your brand even better and bigger. Alright, let's get into it. The first way we're gonna do marketing is influencer marketing. Influencer marketing has truly become really famous the past couple of years because it's just one of the most effective ways to market nowadays. Having an influencer wear your stuff just causes a few really good things to happen. First of all, it's social proof. If people see someone in the clothing brand, for example, if you see your favorite artist in some clothing brand, you're probably gonna like the clothing brand even more. That's also the same with your clothing brand and with a local influencer. If other people see your brand on that influencer, they are probably gonna like your brand more. So that's a really good way to have social proof for your clothing brand. People will think your brand is legit. People will see your brand as a legit brand if they see it on legit people, like people they know and trust on social media. But choose wisely who you work with. Having a lot of followers doesn't mean she or he is a good influencer for your clothing brand, because the wrong influencer can truly break your clothing brand. Some things you really should consider is the vibe and the audience. Does this influencer fit with your brand identity, with your vibe? If it's a no, you should probably not work with that influencer, because if you attract the wrong audience, your brand will not have success and it will just break and people will like hate it and bad comments and bad followers. So guys, make sure the audience truly fits with the brand. I can't stress this enough. This is so important. Something else you should also look out for is if they do a lot of deals. If they do a lot of influencer deals, they probably are not good influencers for your brand. Why? Because if they do so many deals, the audience won't trust them anymore. The people will just think he's a sellout and they won't really trust what they like. If they say, "Ooh, it's a really cool bag," but they said it 100 times already, then probably people won't listen to them anymore. So be very cautious with influencers who do a lot of deals. So if you think you found a good influencer, how do you reach out to them? Because probably in the beginning you're not gonna have a lot of followers, so it's gonna be really hard to reach out to them. This is how you do it. So you just send a lot of DMs to a lot of influencers. Quantity is key here. Just find a lot of good ones and then just send them a message. Just be honest with them. Tell them like, "I'm a new starting brand. I want to send you a hoodie. I really want to work with you." Of course, if you send like a DM to Kanye, he's never gonna respond. But just send DMs to like local influencers, local cool people. The best scenario is if you can reach them in person. If you live in the same city, it's really a cool thing because you can meet the influencer in person. And if you see them, you can immediately get a good connection with them. And having a good connection can really help in the long term. For example, I work with an influencer called Gerben Turlings from Belgium. He's like a really cool guy. And we've worked from like the beginning. From like the beginning when he was still quite a pretty small influencer, when the Buchan brand was very small. And we just kept on working. And how did we discover each other? I just sent him a DM. I offered him a free hoodie in trade for an Instagram post. And then we just kept on working from there on out. I just kept sending him new stuff. I just kept contacting him. We just kept working. I never paid him a dime for his works. I just gave him free stuff and he really loved the brand. That's why we just continue to have a really good working relationship. That's also a really important part. Don't pay the influencers. Especially in the beginning, it's really important to build organic influencers. So it's really not necessary to give money as well. If people ask for money, you probably just shouldn't do the deal on this stage in your clothing brand. Because probably you don't have high budgets and you really want to find the influencers that just love your brand regardless. So be sure to find those. And how do you find those? Just by sending a lot of influencer DMs. Just hundreds. I really recommend, if you have your clothing brand already, if you have your sample, then just send influencers today. After watching this video's action step for you, message at least 10 influencers that you want to work with them. And of course, don't message Kanye, just be realistic about it and send messages to local influencers. And one more thing why influencers are so good for your brand is that it gives content. If you have a lot of influencers posting your stuff, you can just use their pictures in your own Instagram. You can repost them on your Instagram story or your TikTok or stuff. So influencers can really be a good way of generating extra content. A lot of my influencers, I don't really work with them because of their followers. I just work with them because I know they make cool content and I can use their content on my pages. So that's also a really cool way of looking at influencers. Just as a little bit of glorified models that also make their own content and post it on their own platforms. So it's also good to have extra reach. The second advanced marketing tactic is email marketing. I know it sounds boring, but having good email marketing can truly separate you from the losing brands and can truly help your brand generate so much more revenue. This is something I did wrong in the beginning and something I looked over. I thought like emails, they're dead, nobody reads their emails. But because of this, I didn't really generate a list from the beginning, and that's something I really did wrong. Last year, I really focused on my email list, so now I have more than 25,000 people in the Buchan email list. But if I started it from the beginning, I probably would have like 4 times more at least. So guys, if you're just starting out, focus on email marketing. Have a way to collect emails because email marketing is so powerful. Just look at these examples. Yeah, these are all examples of emails that I sent and they all together generated this much revenue. It's just crazy to see that email still works in this day of age. And guys, as I already told you, I didn't really focus on email marketing in the beginning. If I did, this amount would probably be much higher. I know that a lot of brands at my level have much better email marketing strategies and much higher revenue generated because of these. But I'll share today with you guys my tips and tricks, my tactics, and also share why email marketing is so good. First of all, email marketing is so powerful because if your social media reach page gets like banned, if you get shadow banned, if for example your page gets deleted for some reason, you still have all those emails. For example, Kanye truly got like truly banned and like cancelled last year, but he still had all these emails. So he did like a really big drop last year and it went truly crazy because he had all these emails collected already. This is just really a powerful way of showing it. If social media goes down, if TikTok goes down, doesn't matter. You keep that audience and you can keep sending them messages and it will keep going in their mailbox, of course. So this is one of the biggest reasons why you want to do email marketing, is just to collect their emails, to have their address ready so you can contact them at any time when you want to. When there's a new drop, a new offer, a new sale. And then one of the best ways to get people to sign up to your email list is by giving them some special discount. I give a 5% discount on my Buchan website, which is truly like something small, it doesn't really matter too much, but that's reason enough for people to put in their email address. Everybody can get this 5% off if they just give their email. It's just a simple trade to make. And then once you've got their email, you can send them like special offers, like new drops, like cool discounts and stuff, especially for them. You can also target people, like if you want to target people that ordered once, if you want to target people that ordered like 10 times already, you can target all these types of people. You can do this like segmentation in your email list, which can really work very powerfully. I just use Shopify email, which is free to use until 10,000 emails, and then it costs like $1 per 1,000 emails, so it's really cheap. Of course, Klaviyo is also a very popular one. It's free to use until like 500 emails a month, but it gets very expensive very quickly. I may jump over to Klaviyo, I'm gonna test it out, but we'll see. For now, Shopify emails really does the job. And the final tip for email marketing is don't spam them. Nobody likes to get spammed. So guys, just keep it clean, keep it cool. Just send them a few emails a month. I personally send them like 2-3 emails a month max. I know some people do it like once every day. I think that's a bit too much, because if more people unsubscribe for your list, then there's a big chance that the entire list will get blacklisted and everybody will get it in their spam, which is of course really bad for business. So guys, be sure to not spam them and just send them offers that are really good. Alright, the third advanced marketing tactic is how to go viral on TikTok and Instagram Reels. This is probably the easiest and best way to get a lot of followers and a lot of people seeing your stuff, is just by going viral on social media. But going viral, of course, isn't so easy. My number one tip is just do cool shit or make cool shit. If you do cool stuff, people will see your stuff. Of course, if you see like some crazy thing happening on social media, you'll probably comment on it, you'll probably share it to your friends, and it will spread like a wildfire. So do cool shit is the number one thing. Make videos that generate emotion. If it's funny, controversial, relatable, or surprising, people will probably share it, people will comment on it. Just make the test on yourself. Would I comment on this? And if you would, it's probably a great video. A great example are the €1 shoes. People really didn't believe I would really make them. And people were surprised. It's also quite controversial, like could he really make shoes for €1? I don't believe him. So people would comment stuff like, no, he's not gonna do it, it's a scam and stuff. So these shoes really created a viral moment for Buchan, because it's something that people don't expect and it's something that generates emotion. If you see shoes for €1, you're probably gonna think it's fake. So that's an emotion right there. So that's why this stunt happened so well. But more about guerrilla and public stunts in the next module in the expert secrets. And if you really don't know what to make, another tactic again is stealing like an artist. Just look at your competitors, look at what their other brands are making and doing, look all over social media what other guys are doing. Is there a trend right now that's very poppin'? Just use that trend, use that sound, use that hashtag. That's the basis of social media. The basis of TikTok is just people doing trends and stuff. So it's really not a bad idea to just go around, look around, take inspiration from everyone and just gather it and make your own stuff. This is one of the best ways and one of the biggest ways I learned and I grew my social media to so big, is because I just stole like an artist. I took inspiration from everyone. I generated a few very viral videos. Of course, again, don't just blatantly steal and take someone else's video and just upload it or do exactly the same thing. But stealing like an artist, just take inspiration from everyone and make it your own, is very powerful and can really help you to create viral videos. Alright, and something else that I really want to tell you is that you shouldn't use one of these marketing tactics, you should actually use them all. But just focus on a few to begin with, because doing everything really great from the beginning is of course not possible. It's time to become an expert. In this video I'll teach you 3 very powerful marketing tactics that you can use, and also give you a very nice bonus marketing tactic as well. These are the expert marketing tactics because they're not really necessary to grow your brand like the essentials or the advanced ones, but they can really help to excel your clothing brand to the next level and truly make a big brand. These can really make your brand go from small brand to medium and even big brand. So guys, if that's your goal, pay very good attention and take some notes, because this video will truly be packed with value. So the first step to become a marketing expert is guerrilla marketing. Now, the first time I heard the term guerrilla marketing, I thought it had something to do with monkeys. But of course, that's not the case. Guerrilla marketing is actually where you use very little money and resources to create great hype, to create very big hype and have a lot of eyeballs fixated on your brand. A very good example, of course, is the €1 shoes example. The €1 shoes were truly a guerrilla stunt because it didn't cost me too much. Of course, the shoes cost me quite a lot to make, but not so much as you would expect. And it generated a ton of hype and a ton of followers for my brand. So this is like really a good way that I used very limited resources to create like something crazy, something really big. And so my brand really blew up through this. Some other examples are, you know, the brand Cortez. They do like these cool like street activities, like people running for the brand, people like doing crazy stuff for the brand, like going into shops, like paying for pants with 99 cents, like cool shit like that. Also the Great Bolo Exchange, a very good example. People could only get the Cortez jacket if they traded their own puffer jacket for it. That probably was like from an expensive brand, like the North Face, Gucci, something similar. So that's like a really good way to generate hype, because doing these types of stunts, people start talking about you. For example, these shoes, people still talk about them, even though I released them like 6 months ago. It's something really crazy. You just stay in people's heads when you do like cool guerrilla stunts like this. For example, the Buchan meetup. About twice a year, I do like a big meetup for my clothing brand. I give away a bunch of stuff and so many people come to visit. Like, look at all these pictures. People truly go crazy for it. And because I do these type of things, people spread the word. It spreads like wildfire in the schools, everywhere, like on the news even. Look at this, I went on the news. And because I do all these crazy stunts, people start talking about it. And this is truly one of the best ways for your brand to just grow, by people talking about it, by people just sharing it, by people going crazy for it. And the stunts themselves are not necessarily the things driving all the traffic. For example, Cortez, their jacket exchange, was not necessarily like something that like grew their brand so much, but it's just the fact that all the people who made content with it, just the story about the Bolo exchange, as it's called, is just something crazy and something very cool. So guys, do guerrilla stunts. Do like crazy stuff with very limited amounts of money. These shoes, for example, cost me about €3,500 to make. But I gained like 60 or 70,000 followers because of it. If I paid like $4,000 to like Facebook ads or Instagram ads, I never would have gotten this amount of followers. So it's actually just about optimizing what you have, being creative with your budget, being creative with your products. The second part in expert marketing is pretty similar, is doing pop-up stores. Pop-up stores can really help to validate your clothing brand, to make sure your clothing brand really feels like a legit brand. It's pretty similar to working with influencers. For example, I did a pop-up store in Paris during Fashion Week, which sounds like crazy. It sounds like too good to be true. It truly sounds like my brand is like a big brand. Well, to be honest, at that moment my brand was like pretty small still. So doing stuff like this, strategically doing pop-up stores in like cool cities like Paris, Antwerp, and similar cities, make sure your brand really like grows and gets really big, because people like see like, whoa, he does like cool stuff. It's not just a random clothing brand, he just sends packages like every other TikTok brand these days. It's like a real solid brand. Similar to the guerrilla marketing stunts, it's not necessarily the pop-up store itself that generates all the hype and all the buzz. It's just everything around it. Taking the pictures, telling the stories, making the cool videos and content for the pop-up store. all these things combined make sure your brand just gets a true vibe around it. What cities truly connect with your brand? If you have like a ton of followers in a certain city, it's a good idea to do a pop-up store there, of course, because there's gonna be a bunch of people. Then you can make content with all these people and you can like show the world that your brand really has a big and strong community. And building a strong community is also one of the best marketing tactics out there. It's more or less a marketing tactic, but also like something else, just building a brand in general. Because if you truly have a few hundred like really solid rock hard fans that really like the brand, that really support the brand, then thereof you can really build like something big. You can really like let them share all your content. You can really like make content with them and stuff. And having a strong community, having a strong like foundation for your brand can really make sure your brand goes to the next level. And doing pop-up stores, make sure your community gets really tight and really strong, especially if you do it in a city where a lot of followers already are. The third expert marketing tactic is doing collabs. That's something almost nobody talks about. Doing collabs with other brands or with like influencers are like really good ways this day of age to build your brand. Because if there's another brand on like almost your level, then you can just collab with them, you can get their followers, they can get your followers, and it's actually a really good way to do marketing. Everybody when doing a collab just thinks about the raw numbers. How much money are we gonna make? But the more important question is, how much followers are you gonna gain? And how much community are you gonna gain? With this collab with Jason Trill, we didn't really generate that much money. But the most important part is, we did generate a lot of followers and a lot of hype. A lot of his followers followed Buchan, a lot of my followers followed him. So this way we really generated a lot of sales and a lot of money and a lot of just reach and community by doing this collab. And this is really powerful. This is more a marketing tactic than it actually is like some revenue driver. So guys, use collabs very wisely, the same as influencers. Only collab with people and with brands that like fit the vibe. Don't go collabing with like the big brand that's not really a cool brand, like Boohoo Man for example, like all these like fast fashion kind of like wacky brands. Don't go collabing with those, only collab with brands that really fit the vibe. Always keep in mind the brand identity. If it doesn't fit the identity, don't go for it. And last but not least, I have a fourth step in marketing expert for you guys. But before we get into it, I want to tell you guys that paid ads is also a very powerful way to do marketing. But for a beginner, I don't really recommend it because you have to build your organic audience first before you do any types of paid advertisement. Also, I don't really have much experience yet with paid advertisement. That's why I stick with the things I know. But this year I'll be experimenting with paid ads more and more, so there'll probably be an extra video down here below once it comes out. So stay tuned for that. Alright, let's get into the fourth bonus step for you guys. This one is personal branding. In the first module, brand identity, I already told you the foundations of having a personal brand. But now I'm gonna tell you the marketing implications of having one. So having a personal brand is truly one of the biggest assets you can have these days. If you are a brand, the person itself, you can be your own influencer. Then you don't have to work with like external influencers. You can just be your own. You can market your own product. That is one of the most powerful things you can do. For example, Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast, of course, everybody knows him. He's the biggest YouTuber in the world and he is a marketing machine. If he's connected with anything, it blows up instantly. He famously has his Feastables chocolate bars and of course they sell out like crazy. He launched a burger chain and it was like crazy. The lines were insane. So guys, if you build a personal brand, of course not as big as Mr. Beast, but if you just build your own like local personal brand, it can truly help to elevate your brand to the next level. For example, Kanye West. Kanye West, of course, is one of the biggest like clothing brand owners in the world. Like he himself is like one of the most famous ones. He is a personal brand himself, of course. And when he drops stuff, it's always sold out. It just always goes crazy. Why? Because it's Kanye West. Doesn't matter how shitty it looks or how weird it is. If it's Kanye, it just works. And that's because he himself is a personal brand and he can promote his clothing. He can make basically whatever he wants. So having a personal brand is maybe even more important than having a normal clothing brand. But having the two can really just skyrocket your popularity to the roof. For example, on my personal accounts, I often drop like behind the scenes of like new shoes that are gonna drop or like some cool stuff that's going on behind the scenes. So this really helps. For example, all you guys, you probably know me from my social media. And you guys know me because I've shown my brand behind the scenes for years now already. I've shown what I can do. I've shown like my process, my documentation, my entire journey from the beginning until now. So that's why you guys trust me. You guys like bought this Brand Academy community because this personal brand that I've figured out throughout the years. So guys, it's never too late to start. Having a personal brand is truly something that will skyrocket in the coming years. One of the founding fathers of school, this community that we're on, is Alex Hormozi. And Alex Hormozi has built his own personal brand the past few years. Why? He's a true marketing genius. And that's why I've done it. He saw the potential of personal brands. So I'll link an extra video down below if you're interested in creating your own personal brand, because it's really one of the most powerful marketing strategies you can do these days.